In this video, I'm explaining why Activision Blizzard is my #1 holding. Stay tuned. Hello there, welcome to another video on investing on the stock market. If you like what you see, please hit subscribe. If you have any suggestions, drop me a comment. So my oldest investment and currently my largest holding is Activision Blizzard, a gaming developer, a video game developer. And the reason I initially invested in this company was because I've always been a huge gamer, still am, probably always will be. And I play most of their games. I've almost played all of them. And I thought, well, you know, this is a video game company and I think they have the best video games, so what the heck. So the company is made up of Activision, which makes Call of Duty and Destiny most notably. Blizzard Entertainment, the biggest titles are World of Warcraft, Hearthstone and Overwatch, Diablo, Warcraft and so on. And then you have King Digital, which has all the mobile games. So those are going to be mainly Candy Crush, Pet Rescue and Farm Rescue or something like that. All the most hardcore games. And I think these are some of the strongest titles in gaming. There are millions and millions of people playing these games, and every month these titles bring in 385 million players spending an average of 50 minutes per day, which is well above the average time people spend on video games. And the reason for that is that some of these titles are pretty hardcore. The players in these games spend a lot of time in the game. They spend a lot of time progressing, trying to improve, trying to make their character stronger. These are not just single player games where you play through a story and then you're done. You might play through the storyline twice. These are games where you play every day for years and years to become the best or to progress through the game. And since they're continuous titles, Activision Blizzard gets a huge cash flow every month, quarter or annually from these games based on expansions, subscriptions and microtransactions. Because since people are playing these games so much and for years and years, they spend a lot of money in the game. They buy subscription every month, they buy every update, every expansion, every available thing they can buy in the game. They want it because they really care about the game, and it's a big part of the time they spend on their computer. Now, Activision Blizzard is also heavily involved in esports. If you're not familiar, it's just competitive gaming, so it's a normal sport just with video games. And they have their own esports branch, esports broadcasting company. They also have built their own esports studios, out of which they are broadcasting Overwatch League at the moment. I watch that all the time, go check it out. And their titles are also quite big esports titles in themselves. So games like Call of Duty, Hearthstone and Overwatch. And speaking of competitive gaming and trying to play a game at the highest level, Blizzard especially, which is the main reason I invest in this company, has the most dedicated and hardcore gaming fans in the world. We the fans play most of their game, almost all of them. We don't just stick to one or two games. They all have a similar feel to them. They all look and play quite similar. So the fans tend to play multiple games across multiple genres. And a lot of us has grown up with Blizzard games such as Warcraft, Starcraft, Diablo and World of Warcraft. And we keep playing them to this date. Just one way to show how hardcore the fans are is BlizzCon, which is the annual Blizzard convention, sort of like E3 or PAX or Gamescom. But Blizzard are not very big on these other conventions. Instead, they have their own convention, which is bigger than almost every convention apart from E3, I believe. So the fans are very dedicated. They show up to conventions, they buy all their games, and they keep playing them for many, many years. And having multiple genres and dedicated fans means that Activision Blizzard are big on PC, console and mobile. PC is definitely the more dedicated hardcore gamers who spend a lot of money on gaming PCs, the best hardware, the best software, all the games they want to play at the highest level and get the most out of their game. Console players definitely a little bit less hardcore, more casual. They just want to plug in a CD and go. They just want to experience the game and then be done with it. They don't necessarily want to get the highest graphics or play at the highest level. And they don't want to have to buy all the equipment and software that goes with PC gaming. And then you have mobile gamers, which are pretty much everyone. You know, we play mobile games when we're out and about, traveling, or just outside the house in general. And I think it's a quote from Jim Cramer. He said that Activision Blizzard is sort of like the Disney of gaming because they have all the most old school beloved titles. They have Diablo, StarCraft, Warcraft, which is 3 of the most beloved titles in gaming. Some of them go back 20, even as much as 30 years. And pretty much every game they make is either a classic or an instant success, such as Overwatch or Hearthstone. So just like Disney, they seem to have a formula of how to make great video games, because pretty much every game they come out with is a massive success and sells tens of millions of copies. They do well in multiple genres. They're dominating MMO. They're dominating the shooting space with the 2 biggest FPS games in the world, the largest card games, some of the best mobile games, best adventure game, biggest RTS game, the list goes on and on. Now, as for gaming in general, gaming is not growing as fast as it used to do. And, you know, pretty much everyone already plays video games, but I think there's still a little bit room left to run. Because there's still a generation, you know, 60 or older who didn't grow up with video games and they have no relationship to them. So in 20, 30 years, I think everyone from 2 to 100 years old will be playing video games if they can, most likely. And so I think more and more people will still play video games. And I still think the sector is going to outgrow a lot of other sectors, especially with the hardcore gaming segment and esports, which is exploding, by the way. So I think gaming will become more and more of a spectator sport, just like regular sports in the Olympics, for example. And this is the biggest company in gaming. I also think it's the best. They have the strongest titles, the best new games, so the strongest innovation. They're also very heavily involved into esports. So I think this is a brilliant company. I invested back in 2013 or 14, I believe, at $19 a share. The company is now at 72 or 73. Been an absolute fantastic investment. I still think it's undervalued, a lot of room to grow, a lot of upside potential, so definitely have a look. Let me know if there's any other gaming stocks you're invested in. We have Take-Two Interactive, which is also a holding of mine, EA, Nintendo, and Ubisoft. So have a look. I like the space. I like this company in particular. And yeah, let me know what you think. Until next video.